Nvidia, guys, has done it yet again. The new 4080 Super Pods available for Ultimate members on Geforce now is by far the best thing I have seen in cloud gaming today. And I have been covering cloud gaming now for years, and this blew me away like nothing else, which is saying something. Guys, jumping in right now, the new 4000 series GPUs have hit the market for consumers. So Nvidia has now launched their own pods featuring this powerful hardware that you and I can access through the cloud. Now, there is a lot of cool stuff that's coming with this. There's 240 FPS with Nvidia Reflex. There's smooth 4K 120 gameplay. There's also full-on ray tracing and DLSS 3 for games that support those features. And guys, I have tested all of it. We're not going to waste any more time playing some Cyberpunk 2077, a game that's famous for eating up resources and hardware. This is a game that I really used to put this new super pod to the test. I got to test this out fully with ray tracing with 4K, and you guys can see the difference going from light ray tracing all the way to ultimate. And there is a stark difference there. The 4080 handles ray tracing in Cyberpunk beautifully, but jumping to actual gameplay, right? Playing the game, I left the settings on ultra, even boosted to something called psycho ray tracing. This is a setting for the ultimate experience on Cyberpunk, with of course that full-blown 4K resolution, and the game easily stayed above 70 FPS even in a chaotic little firefight here. But here's the part that pretty much absolutely just shocked me. It's been a while since I've gotten to play Cyberpunk on my local PC, but doing the same in-game settings for visuals on my 3070 Ti, I couldn't even maintain a steady 30 FPS. It was just an awful experience. It was awful gameplay, and this is me playing locally on my own PC. Now, sure, I can drop the settings a lot more and match the smoothness on my PC to match this new 4080 in regards to just pure smooth gameplay, but this ultimate tier, man, we are talking incredible power in the cloud. Now, finally, I did get to test out a little bit of the DLSS 3 on Cyberpunk, but ultimately, I gotta say, I wasn't impressed. My performance with this just didn't really jump up a lot. I don't really feel like it improved the FPS or the visuals too much, but the good part is that this is an option for games that support it, and going forward, any game that has a DLSS 3 is going to definitely enhance your experience. Now, another big aspect of the new Ultimate tier is the 240 FPS with Nvidia Reflex. This is a great feature that works well and is enabled in competitive shooters and even other types of titles. But according to Nvidia, they've measured a latency with a full 240 Hz monitor, and we are coming away with numbers that are far better than even local hardware in some cases, especially consoles. Now, I personally did not have a 240 Hz monitor. I have 144, but I got first-hand look at this with Fortnite and Apex Legends, and for Fortnite, guys, I can absolutely confirm it's actually a pay to win to use this tier. Now, this was an incredible experience, but keep in mind, when you are using Nvidia Reflex, you do have to keep that resolution down to 1080p because you are prioritizing that full-on low latency that you can get as little or as low as possible just to have that sweet competitive gameplay. I was even able to win a couple of rounds in Fortnite, and I think I played about like 5 games in total, and this is not a game that I typically play period, even less competitive, so it was very interesting. Then I jumped into a little bit of Apex Legends, and again, this performed wonderfully, and you can really see how both games running in 240 really make a big difference. Now, I was getting 144 on my screen, 144 Hertz, but I was just having a definite good time here, and I was playing both of these games for hours on end combined, and I was completely forgetting that I was in the cloud playing competitive shooters. Now, if you guys are a competitive gamer and you only have access to the cloud, or you mostly play in the cloud, Well, this new Nvidia Reflex with 240 FPS, in my opinion, is the way to go and a must-have. Now, also something that's new coming with this new tier is support for ultra-wide monitors, which, man, I have to say, is a game changer for those who own it and play it in the cloud. I actually had a friend testing out the new SuperPods himself. He was nice enough to go ahead and show me this clip of it working beautifully for him. And this is something that is just not available with a lot of other cloud services. So this was really cool to see it in action. And finally, I did get the opportunity to test out the performance across a variety of devices, starting with the iOS devices. And the performance here was also just outstanding across the board. The MacBook Air performed wonderfully. I had no issues here. My iPad mini definitely did its thing. I was getting some high quality gaming. My iPhone 12 Pro Max was also an excellent time. I also got to test this with my S21 Galaxy phone, Android phone. I got about 120 hertz with the screen here, and the gameplay was even smoother playing with this. And honestly, this just continues to be amazing value for gaming on the go with these mobile devices paired with a cloud service like Geforce Now. Finally, we got some footage here with a Chromebook, and I gotta say, out of all the devices, this didn't run as smooth for me as everything else did. I think that's more on the actual Pixelbook that I was using than it is on Geforce Now. And finally, guys, the gameplay from the Nvidia Shield Pro was also outstanding, the little that I got to do with that. With that though, I do have a negative that I did experience with my process with all this and my testing. And at some point, one of the days when I was doing this testing, the first time I actually got to boot it up and boot up this new tier, I actually had awful performance across several AAA games, and it was happening in the middle of the day, so I'm not sure if that affected it. I also had a few people on my network, but I usually have outstanding internet, and I typically don't have issues when I cloud game, even when others are using the internet in the house. So I'm not sure why I had that inconsistency at the start, but we are only talking about a couple of hours of testing out of mostly a flawless experience across both Ethernet and Wi-Fi, and many hours. I do have 1 gig download speed for those wondering, and I almost thought I was about to talk about this new tier and say nothing but bad things because it was working so bad, but I can safely say 95% of my experience was very positive. All right, with that, let's jump to the price. Now, Nvidia is charging $19.99 for the ultimate tier. That will include these 4080 SuperPods that I've been showcasing, and if you previously have signed up or you're already on or using the ultimate tier, well, you're actually upgrading here for free, and there's going to be no charge for you. But the ultimate question is probably going to be, if you're wondering and you're watching this, is it actually worth it? Well, I think I'm just going to put it this way. The MSRP for a 4080 graphics card is $1,200 alone. This thing is 20 bucks, literally 20 bucks a month. You guys do the math, and it would take years just to catch up to that $1,200 price tag and that value. And by then, by the time you do catch up, there'll already be new cards already launched and down the line coming. So you're almost saving money going down this road. Not only that, but we won't see any new gaming consoles for quite some years down the road. And this new ultimate tier already rivals, if not even beats, the performance of some of those. Keep in mind, we still got to do some further testing to confirm that, but I honestly feel pretty confident. For me, guys, this is now crazy enough to say this, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is now my best performing way to game. That even includes my own local hardware, which I just can't believe it. And I'm just pretty shocked that this thing makes my own 3070 Ti pretty much somewhat useless. That's how good this is, even despite the awful UI that I can't stand when it comes to using Geforce Now. And trust me, I had a lot of headaches doing all this testing for you guys, but I'm going to go ahead now and use this going forward quite a bit. And just when I thought Nvidia had me out, they pretty much pulled me back in. So God, my goodness, I absolutely do recommend this new tier at $20 a month. I kind of think this is an insane bargain, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys want to know more about Geforce Now, click the video on the screen.